Hi, my name is Maria Toto, and this is my story. I am a full-time student at Flagler College studying fine art. Well, my dad was in the Air Force for about 28 years. He was a master sergeant and he graduated like E7, which is one of the highest ranks you can get in the military. And so he served all through his life there, and he was stationed all over the world. He was almost never stationed in America, so he would be in Turkey, Germany, Spain. Every time my mom has talked about him, just always would talk about how fun of a person he was, and because his life was so serious, like in the military, and he's such an intellectual that when he would be with his friends or with the people he loved, he would just be so fun and funny and not take life too seriously, and just really loved my mom, loved us, and loved my mom's family. Yeah, I just wish I could have known that. I wish I could have really gotten to know him like how my mom did, and it's just like a split second. If it was a split second different, I don't know if they would have met or something. It's so crazy. And when they were at a red light, actually, which is crazy to me, and I think she was late for her class, and he was early to work, some crazy God thing, and he was yelling out the car window, what's your number, hottie? Something so crazy. And my mom was young, in her 20s, and she yelled out all her digits to him, and he remembered. He could tell how much he loved my mom. He loved us so much. And he died on August 13th of 1995. It just was out of nowhere. They were taking separate vacations. I don't remember where my dad was going. It might have been something for the military or something like that. He was studying law at the time. So they were on separate vacations. I think my mom was in Puerto Rico wanting to visit her dad and the family there because I was very young. I was still a baby. So they had just gotten back off their flights, and my dad had a massive heart attack out of nowhere. It was completely unexpected. So they kind of both just rushed to the hospital, and the doctor was just trying to explain to my mom they did everything they could, that this heart attack was just very extreme, that my dad was not going to recover from it. Thankfully, they had the chance to say goodbye together for those few hours that they had. And I don't know, I think my grandma might have been there to take care of me, but I don't know exactly what they shared together, but they got to be alone together. And now she had me, a baby, to take care of alone. Before he passed, he said to put me in a private school always. He wanted that for me. So she chose that so that I would be surrounded by Christians and I would be surrounded by God. Going to church was important when he was alive. I think she just went into a dark place. She just couldn't believe that her husband had passed. And my mom has told me stories when it hit her, it was unreal. She lost everything. They had only been married a year. So it was so shocking, and it came out of nowhere, and he was so young. And I think after he passed, she was mad at God. She struggled with that, with her that faith, and I think she still has for many years since. Even though she may not feel that faith in her, she always wanted me to experience it. And she went to one of those church groups that were for widows, and she would go, and she would tell me that the people the leader that was there in the group would say, you have to either get busy living or get busy dying. And I think something with that resonated with my mom, and she realized she has me, she has to make a life for me out of this bad situation. She cared so much for me to making a life for me, her life's work. she moved us to an apartment where my grandma was close to us, so my grandma could take care of me while my mom was going to Valencia at the time. But she eventually got into real estate, and my mom like made the best life, you know, like she overcame that. God was always there. I don't know if she knew that, you know, like I don't think she knew it was God carrying her, but you know, by God's grace, she made a life for me. That void was always there, and she had you know, been with other guys, and no one was ever like dad. Having a lot of friends that did have dads and had like really great dads who were always there and cared like so much for them, and girls who were like daddy's girl, and seeing that those friends' fathers have always were like fathers to me. But it is hard when I feel like I'm really opposite of my mom sometimes, but I just feel like if my dad had been alive, we would have been so similar. I feel like he would have been like a best friend to me. And that's hard, realizing that that father figure is so strongly needed. I just know like he had so much life experience to offer to me, and so much wisdom that he could have like imparted to me. So I think the biggest thing that is hard is like, what if? Like that question is so heavy for me, because I have to constantly wonder. I'll never know. Like I just won't know. I was so young, so I didn't even have the chance. But thankfully God has been so faithful to me and has showed me that like when my dad passed, God was there even before I was born. So I lost my dad, but I always think of God as like a heavenly father, even more so than maybe most. So getting married on June 23rd of this year. Yeah, we got engaged November 22nd, but we're really excited, and graduating in May. So yeah, the wedding is coming up very soon, and we dated for about 6 years already, so we've been together a really long time, and I want to honor my dad in that ceremony. And it's really hard, like thinking that he won't be there. It's just hard because, sorry, it's really hard because, not that I miss him so much, just I wish he could meet Nick. That's the biggest thing. That's what's really hard, because I know that all he would have to do would be to meet Nick once, and he would know. Like, he would just know I'll be okay, because he's gonna take care of me. I know my dad would have loved him. Like most people know, there's nothing that could replace them. There's nothing. But the only thing except that is God. He can. God is able to come in our hearts and our souls in a way that even our parents or whoever we lost can't. So that loneliness is just you longing for God, whether you realize it or not. I like adore this concept. Like, let's be frank, I am so that person. As I get older and older, I become more like genuine every day, because I realize how important it is to just be okay with not being okay, if that's the case, and not kind of masking yourself so much that you never confront how you actually feel. It's just, genuineness is the only way to live. I'm Maria Toto, and I am Frank.